We are live. Welcome to the RedBlue Pod number 11. And you can now present yourself, co host. People may know you, but
Yep.
hey, present yourself still.
Yeah. Oh no. Yep. Cole. Yeah. You probably don't know me. This is definitely my first time on here. Yeah. Well. How's your day going, man?
That I had a good day. Like my Monday is always rough, but hey, at work you can watch TV shows, so that's a good thing, right? I was able
Yep.
to finish Agents of Shield sixth season. Oh my, that was freaking rough. I will say that. I understand why people dislike the ending of the show. Regardless, we got three topics today. The first one, She-Hulk, episode number 4. Second one, the movie Sicario. And the last topic will be Stargirl. You had time to watch Stargirl, did you?
Yep.
That's
I'll be
great.
honest. I'm. Yeah. I enjoyed. We could talk about Stargirl first, I guess.
Maybe She-Hulk
But
first because I got much more to
uh,
say about Stargirl, bro.
yeah, that is true. Let's just get She-Hulk out of the way.
Yeah,
Fuck.
it's like the dirt we don't want to keep around too
Because
long, you know?
I once again forgot most that happened. Like I actually don't even remember like what happened in episode 3 and episode 4. Like they're just the same to me. It's like did Juan show up in episode 3? Or did he show up in episode 4? Are we even on episode 4? Are we on episode 5? I forgot. The show's giving me dementia. All I really remember is there was this breaking the fourth wall scene of her making a joke about Juan in Twitter, and whether you I don't whether you find it funny or not, that's up to you. But what I can at least say is that for once they made a break in the fourth wall quote unquote joke that actually made somewhat sense, because every other one wasn't even like a break in the fourth wall joke or scene. It was literally just her looking in the camera and saying LOL. But
Oh my.
it's like they forgot the film breaking the fourth wall scenes, forgetting that's a thing in the She-Hulk comics, and then just filmed that for and then just filmed all those for 5 seconds at shortly after. But that one at least made sense, and was actually kind of a break in the fourth wall scene. So I mean, whether you like it or not, I mean, at least give credit there. And then yeah, I mean, I remember her, with the guy at the bar and stuff, and then people are on on the internet are retarded enough to think she like raped him or something. That just made me lose all my brain cells. But yeah, and then I forgot basically everything else. So what do you think?
Oh my, I lost many brain cell over reviews and over the show itself. Oh my, I think I will go
Yeah,
insane. That show is so bad. I repeat
people
myself.
said this is the episode where it really picks up the pace. I'm like, okay, this is hopeless. This is hopeless. This is the episode that's supposed to redeem it.
You know that's funny because we speak about breaking the fourth wall. Now I actually forgot if we already said that in the past, but I know I've been thinking about it for many weeks now. Agents of Shield kept breaking the fourth wall. And they did it right. That was actually funny. Each
And it
time I
actually
was
made
cracking a
sense.
smile. I was laughing. One of the two. But now
Yeah.
it's just overused by bad writers. So this is what happened when you got like writing techniques handled by amateur, by people that cannot write. This is what you get. That episode again was man hating. Like 99% of the male character in this show are stupid, and they are depicted as the worst of the kind. So
Yeah,
tell me, how is
every
this
single one of
equality?
them have like 5 brain cells.
Yeah,
It's
it's
actually insane.
it's not even a parody because you can feel its insert. You can feel the writer speaking through the character, and this is
Uh,
sad.
yeah,
This
like
is
here's the thing. I don't really like believe in all that man hating. I don't really give a shit personally. I don't really see it. Like I just think it's outside of like some like two parts of it. Like one of them with like the comparing their struggles Olympics. That's about it. But I just think it's dumb. stupid fucking feminist writing. I don't think it's like man hating no, but
The
what I will say though is that it's true. They literally have to make every male character have like five brain cells at most in the process, to make her seem like powerful and smart. It's like this is not how you do things.
the biggest issue I got with that is how if we do the same to women, we are deemed to go too far. But then because they're women, they can do it. That's a double standard that really bothers me a lot. I am all in for equality as long as you treat both gender the same way. But this is obviously not the case here. Yes, some people will say they also trash women, but they don't trash women as much as men in this show. And even there, like the girl that was always partying and drunk, she wasn't even funny and she wasn't terrible. She was just stupid. And men in this show are terrible. It's
Yeah.
very different. Like
Okay, I'll be honest. So we talked about the comedy as well. So every episode we said, "Where's the comedy?" But we could at least pinpoint like one or two jokes in it that we can notice. This episode, I couldn't notice a single joke in this. There were literally wasn't like a single joke in this.
yeah. Yeah, it's really bad, and this is funny because I will repeat myself because Wong was in this episode again here, and guess what? He had a really shit material, but because the actor is playing well and the actor is able to sell crap, well, that was entertaining. And Wong was the best part of this episode, and right now, my smile count went to 7. To give you an idea, last week it was at 5. So I smiled twice because of Wong. I can't remember any other scene that made me smile. Like, usually it's Wong. And my laugh count is still at 1. And we are 4 episodes in. We are almost half done with the season. And I'm the kind of person that is not that hard when it's funny, when it's a joke, when it's entertaining. I'm not that hard to make laugh, to make smile. I laughed a lot in Stargirl all 3 seasons, and third season so far. I laughed a lot, so I'm not that hard. I'm not like that person that just cannot laugh because I find stuff
Hmm.
funny if it's handled by good writer, which is clearly not the case with
Oh
She-Hulk.
yeah.
It's really sad because we repeat ourselves, and we still need to speak about it, because if we don't, then how can they improve? How can some people realize how bad the show is? And people need to realize it. They cannot clap for anything because what will be the standard if we clap for everything?
Hmm.
And again, inserts from the writer are all over the place. You can tell it's not a character speaking, it's the writer. And it's really bad. It breaks the immersion. It breaks like the fake world you should be in. The dialogue is awful. The dialogue are bad. Uh, Going in a bar to work. I noted that because I think it's really stupid. When you go in a bar, don't you think you want some drink and you want to dance with people? Why did you brought your own your work? Maybe I nitpick too much, but I find that stupid. It makes
Yeah,
no sense.
I just I think it is dumb. I don't know.
And
I'm
that
just trying to
scene
think.
was only to tell us how sexist men are, and all men are wrong, and all men are a-hole in the bars. I'm like, okay. I wasted
Oh
my time
yeah.
watching that scene.
I will say defend them just slightly. I mean, there are a lot of asshole men in bars. I mean, it's not saying that all are, but there are those groups. So I mean, that is like accurate. I mean, if it was just like scenes like those individually throughout the show, then I wouldn't, care, but I mean, just with everything else that's in the show, though, and then having that in there makes me, question its motives. But yeah, I mean, either way, it was fucking terrible, and there's no point in it.
That episode was very painful, and at first I gave it a 2, but then I look back at the first episode and I'm like, just because Wong was around here, I give point 0.5. And I will repeat myself, it's not because it's Wong, it's not because it's MCU, it's not because it's a cameo, it's because of the actor. And
Yeah.
I
Well,
wanted to
speaking
say
of
that.
one, why didn't he just use his portal at the very beginning of that fight to take care of them? There
Plot,
was no reason not for him not to.
plot wants things to happen, it's
Yeah, so they can fight.
the
Oh
the
my god.
the court stuff is so bad. It's
Yeah.
it's a lawyer show. It's the attorney show, and they cannot write court stuff. I know, like, if you pay me the money they get, I will end up with something much better than this. And I'm not a specialist lawyer. I'm not a specialist attorney, but I know I will make up something better than what they did. It's just my ears, ears were bleeding. What
Hmm.
would be the grade you would give to this bad episode again?
Uh, 1.5.
That represent well the state the show is in right now, and I'm really worried about Daredevil now. I'm like,
I don't
please,
care.
please
Either way, just
murder Murdoch next week, please. Let's get over it. But
yeah. Oh my god, they're gonna like fucking. I can imagine the fucking whatever.
I
Maybe they'll give him a free pass because he's blind. To
they
not
will
make
make
him look like
jokes
a
about
dumbass.
handicapped people. I'm telling you, he's blind.
Oh,
They will make bad joke about handicapped people,
oh yeah, I can just imagine the lines they'll fucking give her when she confronts Matt Murdock at first.
or they will do bad joke of diversity hire, and they will try to copy like the boys, but they will fail doing so because they're stupid writers.
Hmm.
Oh, he got the job because he's blind. Laugh. You should
Yeah,
laugh.
hilarious. Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, that I can definitely see that. Actually, he got the job because of that. Oh
This is
fuck.
how low this show is. I can guess what they will do.
Yeah, I'm sure fucking Twitter can write a better script than this at this point. Fuck me. Yeah, this is just I'm done. This is hurting my brain.
You see, this
Is
is
there
why we
anything
start with
else?
She-Hulk. We start with all the
Yeah.
negatives, so it's out of the way, and we can have a good time speaking about
Okay. What
Sicario.
I'll try. I think I might have said this last time, but then since it was delayed, it didn't happen. But I'll try to watch the episode of She-Hulk next, right before we do the stream, so that I remember. So then I don't get just dementia trying to remember what the fuck happened in this garbage. It's still probably gonna happen, even if I do that. But I'll see.
So, any closing thoughts on that really bad
No,
episode? No.
I just want to move on. How about you?
Let's move on because I think we repeat ourselves, which is fine because people need to understand how bad the show is. I still don't get it. All people can go behind it and defend it. I'm like, why? Ow.
Hmm.
Anyway, Sicario. I'm really curious to see what you think about the movie.
Uh, well, I will say that out of all the big budget, well, not big budget, but like moderate budget, mainstream films that Denise Villeneuve have made after after 2009 or 2010 or whatnot. This is my least favorite personally out of them. Just but that isn't a flaw. I think this film is fucking great. It just happens to be the least great out of all these great or amazing films he's made, and because there were like the second half I do think, dragged on a little bit with the characters, but that's about it. I don't really have any flaws with it though. Outside of that, again, it's just not as great as the others. I do, yeah, but yeah, this film is fucking great. I really liked it a lot. Just the opening scene was intense. The characters, outside of the odd one, yeah. I was not like super, like not as compelled as other characters, but yeah, they were all interesting though, to me, and like what their jobs were and like priorities. Very interesting. It focuses on that shit that pretty interests me a lot. The premise of it. Like the drug cartel or whatnot.
Yeah,
From my memory, and the cinematography they got. What was his name again?
Denis Villeneuve.
No, it was the cinematographer. He did the cinematography. Yeah, Roger Eakins, Deakins or whatever. Yeah, he did the cinematography for many films with him. He did it for Blade Runner. He did it for Prisoners. He did it for the majority of the films he's done it with him, besides Dune, really, which he did with. Actually, I think he also did it maybe with. No, actually, no, I don't think he did, but yeah, I mean the cinematography in this, though, yeah, fucking great as well. Just the shot composition was amazing. Like he made it look like any other director could have made this look so. I mean, cinematographer and director could have made this look so bland, and the shot composition, but those two made it look amazing. And
Yeah,
yeah, what's your opinion on this? So,
I will say this. I still preferred Nope and what the other
and
one I gave
Prisoners.
8. Hereditary. Uh,
Ah,
However, this time around, I think I liked much more Sicario than Dune.
and
And
see, I figured that because it is a lot more grounded, and
yeah, I like sci-fi. I like sci-fi, but I think what really dragged down Dune was the pacing. And here with this more grounded movie, I think there was no pacing issue. It was just really strong and entertaining. Of course, I have a lot of issues here and there. This is why it's not as good as Nope, in my own opinion. Now, as usual, I will start off with my flaws and my issues with this movie. The first issue, like, and the first big sequence of scenes where they are on the crime scene, basically, um, some cops don't wear gloves and they touch stuff and they it's it bothers me, it's like, even if it's Mexican police, I don't think they will change their way of working. You
uh,
infect the crime scene by not wearing gloves
well,
when
I do think like cops in countries like that are like a bit lazy with certain things. So
I
it doesn't really surprise me.
that still breaks the whole atmosphere for me, because I see them doing that. I'm like, you just infected your own crime scene. It's I that bothered me. That bothered me. Maybe you're
Yeah, see
right.
that this is interesting because you're really into cop shows. You got that one you're translating for me. So this
Yeah,
is stuff that I miss, but you look
yeah,
at though.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and and uh, and I also watch a lot of CSI and NCIS. I look. I know it's not the best on TV, CSI and NCIS, but I will say this: I'm entertained when I watch these. And my favorite NCIS is New Orleans. And this one, even if it has some mystical aspect to it at some point in the show, I enjoyed a lot the way they did stuff, and most of the time it makes sense. Sometimes they plug some link together and it doesn't really hold up, but they are still good writers, so you can like suspend disbelief for that.
Hmm.
I cannot suspend disbelief when I see these cops not wearing gloves. I'm like, they are on the crime scene right now. They can infect it. I mean, That
Again,
bothered
if
me.
this was in like the U.S. or something, I would agree. But in countries like this, personally, I do give it a free pass. But I know you don't. But I mean that's just
and
me.
and and later on, now we move on to my next issue, and it took a while until my next issue, which is very interesting because most of my issue are like in the second act and the third act. That's the
Yeah,
funny thing
as
about
I
it.
said, like the second act kind of like drags a bit for me. So yeah, and it
So
wasn't as interesting. But
my first big issue later on, plot armor on 2000 with the girl against the guy when they fight in the apartment is choking her. She should have died. Sorry, but all along they fought, and all along she was just choked. And why did if he really wanted to kill her, why didn't he just smash her head, boom, many times on the ground? But in order for the plot to move on, plot armor on the character because she's the main character. That bothered me a lot. Like the fight choreography in itself was good until you realize she has like so much plot armor in order to just survive that fight. And then the guy wait until she's about to die to jump in and say, "Oh yeah, you were
well,
the bait." I'm like, "Are
I
you
mean, I
serious?"
will say I have seen like many instances of people like choking others, and it does like take a while. Like I can just personally for me, I can see like if you're really know what you're doing, you have the strength, then yeah, it can be a lot easier. You can like snap like the
Yeah,
fucking like but what do you call it, like I'll just snap something where then they can't even breathe anymore. But
yeah,
I mean, other people, and it seems like with the character trying to kill her wasn't one of them. I mean, I can personally see it, but that's just me. But when it comes to the plot armor of her like surviving and stuff, I mean, I can see it at points definitely, like with mainly at the very first scene of the film. But
yeah.
other than that, I do think like they didn't make her at all like some like fucking cat Mary Sue at all. Like
Yeah, I'm
she
not
she
saying she's a
she
Mary
she
Sue.
fucked up a lot and
Pl-
got she like lost at the end.
Plot armor appends a lot in everything, and each time I spot on a plot armor, except at the start when it blows up, I was like, okay, I can maybe say she was fine because she wasn't like in the center of it, so I could suspend my disbelief there. But during her fight against the guy, I could not. I was like, there's no way a normal person would survive that. It's plot armor. But here again, that's just me, and I point this out. Like, I will give a good example. Agents of Shield. So many times they deal with people with superhuman strength that can basically break stuff, but yet they take full hits from them, and they don't break any of their bones. They don't die from one hit. So I see plot armor when plot armor happens. Like I will give another example. Daredevil, the TV show, very grounded and very realistic. One of my favorite TV show out there with Stargirl.
Yeah.
How many times Matt should have died just in the first 5 episodes of season 1? Plot armor is there. So it's still a flaw for me. And it's in the same level as any other flaw. It's not because it's plot armor that I will take away a full point. No, I don't take away full point for that kind of stuff. Like pacing issue will maybe in some cases take away full points, but not like plot armor stuff. Now another issue later on when they are doing the mission in the tunnels, and suddenly she decides to take away her helmet inside. I'm like, what a great idea. What if someone just appears and headshot her? Don't you think it's a
Eh,
good idea to keep your helmet? Like, I mean, you're only military ops, and because you bump your head into the ceiling, you're like, oh yeah, that's a good idea to just take out the helmet. I just feel like it's off character. Like, I mean, off human. No human would do that. Like, no normal person think it's a good idea. Like, that helmet is there to protect you. It's dangerous. You're on the field. You have guns. You deal with the cartel. Wear your helmet.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I mean, again, I didn't rewatch the film before this. What part, like what section in that mission did she take off her helmet? And like, was it like when she
It's
was like with them still, like
it was
or
nighttime. They all wore like their night vision goggle, and they were entering tunnels. They were basically tracking down like a cartel, and there were like two tunnel, and there was a firefight in the tunnel, and most of the firefight we don't see it, but we know it happens because we can hear the gunshots, we see the flash, and as she was like entering, she had her helmet on, but then at some point, like in the middle, when the firefight was happening and people were shooting, she decides to take out her helmet after bumping her head into the ceiling. She was like in the back of the group, but even there, I still think it's really stupid. Even if you're on the back of the group and people in front of you are the one taking the bullets and shooting down people, it's still really stupid to just take out your helmet, you know?
I mean, sort of agree, but I remember I do think she was in like a certain position where I'm like I can realistically see though someone like doing that. Like there are a lot of stupid people who take off their helmets at a lot of points. Like even when they're doing stuff like that, like it's pretty known. So I mean, it is like kind of like a cough out to say as a defense, like yeah, I mean there's these stupid people, so it makes it. But I mean, I don't know. It's just like I'm 50-50 on that. I can see her point though, but I do think like where she was at in my memory at that time, like it is. I can see it being realistic there. I mean, as long as she put it back on at like other points, if she didn't, then
I don't
Jesus fuck,
remember her putting back the helmet on. I just remember her
Jesus Christ.
carrying her helmet on her shoulder or something. That's all I remember. I was like, what the why? Oh yeah, she didn't put it back, and at some point she find the corrupt cop getting like threatened by a gun by the other guy, and then she doesn't have her helmet at that point. Now I won't speak about plot armor here because I know like the criminal dealing with the corrupt cop didn't want to kill her. He just wanted to tell her like, "Go away, I deal with the cartel, and you do your stuff," you know. And she didn't want it to back off. Then she took a bullet, but that wasn't like out of intent to kill her. So at that point, like I was like, "Oh, I'm fine with it," because the guy doesn't want to kill her. He just wants to tell her, "Back off, or I will shoot you," you know. And then he shoots, but he doesn't want to kill her, you know.
Yeah.
But then another really stupid things happen.
Ooh.
She goes back in the tunnel, and she basically tell the other guys, "I will tell everyone what happened here."
What the?
I was like, "Are you kidding me? Do you want to
That
die there?" I was
I
like,
remember that scene in the film, and yeah, that
if
one I'm like,
if
yeah,
I
okay.
was the guy like in the movie, I would freaking kill her, bro. I don't care if she's FBI. She will stool it. Like she will snitch. She will freaking destroy our lives. Shoot her down, bro.
Yeah, I don't think an FBI agent just goes up and
But
says
she
that.
does
That's
it,
pretty stupid.
and the guy is like, "You will not do it." And then she looks at him and she says she will do it. And at that point, she was also like injured because of the other guy that shot at her without killing intent.
Hmm.
I was rolling my eyes. I was like, "What just happened? What did I just
Hmm.
see?"
Yeah, yeah. Now that is definitely a plot
That's
issue.
dumb. And then
Yeah.
later on, I was like, two flaws in a row. Like in the last 5 minutes, I was shocked. The killer that basically killed the cartel is like, giving her the papers saying everything was done by the book. And we know from the get-go she didn't like the way everything was going. She she disagreed with pretty much everything everyone did, and you could tell she wasn't on board with that. And you're like, she will not sign it because that would break her character. Her character so far protested. Her character so far said, "No, I will tell everyone."
Because
So
I think she knows she'll die,
and
or
then
that I mean, what's her character background in the film? Does she have like any family or whatnot?
no, she doesn't. She was
Okay,
divorced.
okay. Well, I was gonna say maybe like if she had a family though, like
I
after a divorce, like
I think
maybe they'll kill him and
I
her
think
kids.
this
Maybe if
they
she had
played
any.
it smart here because they took away like the family aspect of it from her, so it's not a trigger for her. So I like
Yeah,
that aspect of it because that's a lazy
yeah. I mean
trigger.
that is like cliche, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying like
but she
I'm just
didn't
trying
add
to like
any.
come up.
She didn't add any family. She was divorced, and then the killer basically tells her, "Yeah, you will sign and say everything was by the book, even if it's not, and even if so far she showed everyone she didn't like the way things were going, but because he tells her, oh, you may end up like with a suicide, and now he was like pointing a gun at her, she decided to sign." In my mind, it's like maybe survival, but no, it doesn't work well for me because you know what? If I
Because
was
she
in,
did that at the first, so then she'll probably do it again.
yeah, and I will go further with that. What tells you the guy won't kill you either way? Like, if you sign, you will just make it easier for him.
Yeah, I mean, after what you said, fuck,
That,
he'll not trust you. Like,
yeah,
keep your
I,
word.
I was kind of shocked how they broke the whole plot of the movie in like 2 minutes. I was like, oh my, what's up with that? What's going on?
Yeah, so all these flaws happen in like the last like 10 minutes of the film.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. And it also just felt so rushed as well, in my opinion. That's
I
another
think the
thing.
pacing was fine for me. I like the pacing a
Uh,
lot. Outside of
I mean, for me, it felt
all
a
the
little bit
stupid
rushed.
stuff in the end,
It felt like the second act was like dragging on too much, and the third act was rushed. I feel like they should have put the two together. Maybe would have been. I don't know.
but then the last issue I had, she goes on the balcony with a gun and she points it at the guy, but she doesn't shoot, and then she changed her mind and pull back, and the movie ends. I'm like, are you kidding me? That guy threatened you. You look unstable. You broke your own morals, and yet you let that guy live.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is like a message though. Like, well, when it comes to like FBI agents like this, they do then there's a
Look,
majority of them break their morals eventually. Just just like the police force kind of.
yeah,
There's a lot of dirty cops. There's a lot of dirty FBI agents, and then there's the good ones who then are like whistleblowers, kind of. But
yeah, but
yeah, and she became one of them. She's like, well, whatever. I'll be safe. Got the job done. Whatever. They were criminals anyway.
look, I will say this. I understand that kind of message. I kinda like it, but that breaks so much the plot, everything that happened just before that. This scene bothered me so much because I was like, what's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
point of her journey?
if they didn't do the stupid scenes with her character, like say, I'm gonna tell everyone, when they were still at that place, then yeah, it would have
And
been
then
fine. But
she signed a paper. So I'm like, she has no character arc because it's basically a reset button. Yes, she broke her moral, but at the end she was still a good cop, you know? If at the end that adventure would have turned her bad, that could be much more interesting because you're like,
yeah,
oh,
I mean,
there was
it
a
could
point of
lead
that.
to it though. That did kind of. I think this is the starting point though of what turns her bad. This is like, again, this is the arc. Like good cop, will do everything good, buy the books, and then, but then broke her first thing here, and then from there she'll
It,
probably just
it's
continue this way. I
it's
think
just
that's the
spirals.
message. Yeah, I mean, so I actually didn't mind that. Again, it's just if they didn't have the shitty scenes before that made it like make little sense. Like her saying, "I'm gonna tell everyone," like in front of all those people, like when she can easily just fucking get shot and die. Like,
And even there, we could see she was a good cop when they were like, go outside and go help them shooting them. That was basically on the bridge when there were many cars. They stopped moving, but there were like 2 or 3 cars with criminals on them. And some of the military were like, we go out. And she was the only one that stood inside.
mm-hmm.
That scene I was like was great. It was one of my favorite scenes, and you can tell she's a good cop from there. So if at the end she turned bad and she ended up killing the killer, first of all that would end the circle, and second that would give her somewhat of a character arc because all these dirty adventure that breaks the morals would turn her into a monster. Do you see
Mm-hmm.
where I'm getting at?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where the film was like trying to go. I just,
But they
again, I
failed.
think,
They failed because she spared the killer life.
yeah,
It, it
that is true.
it would have worked if she killed him. Now the message gets through that good cop can turn bad. But now what's the message is you can do bad stuff and still remain good, but you didn't need that last scene where she goes on the balcony with the gun. You didn't need it because you already had a similar scene earlier in the movie where she had the option to help out killing criminals, but she chose to not do such thing.
Yeah.
Now, with my flaws out of the way, let's be positive because, as I said, I did enjoy the movie a lot. The opening scene was great. Despite the cops without gloves, I do think that was a great intro,
Hmm.
and that tells you, look, you're into a good thriller right now. Lots of things are already happening. This is also why I think pacing wasn't an issue for me. Now, the crime scene felt real and interesting. It was well directed, well shot, and all the good stuff. The first team meeting, like the debrief, that was cool. The backstory of the girl not having any family was cool. So you're like, okay, family will not be a trigger in this story, and I do like that a lot because this is a
Yeah.
trope. Now the backstory, the cavalry, like possible corrupt cop within the Mexico police and stuff. That's a lot of good stuff. Um, the firefights were really cool. Even if you don't see all of the action, the bits of action you see is cool. I think it was well done action. The gunplays, they are realistic. People know how to aim in this. They know how to aim. That's surprising, right?
Yeah, surprisingly, a lot of inaccuracies there in films.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just gonna quickly like send this message. This is like I just looked up like this is I guess what the message of the film is trying to be. I guess it's not as much about like the characters in the film Sicario. It's just like the message of like real life of like why it's basically impossible to like stop the drug cartel in Mexico. Like a lesson to teach people.
Even
Like,
like as I said, like they break their stuff by letting the killer live. That's my biggest issue.
I mean, I think I'm cool with letting the killer live. I just don't like the scenes before that. I think it makes it make no sense. If it wasn't for that and then all that stuff played out, it would make more sense. But
I
in
also
my
liked
opinion,
a lot the rooftop scene where she's smoking and she's speaking with one of the military guy, and it's like sundown or sunrise, one of the two, and
hmm
they hear gunshots and then police and stuff. That was cool. I think that also helped the atmosphere of the movie, And the movie felt really heavy, but not in a bad way because you could tell there's an atmosphere to it. You can tell you're into the adventure with them because of the atmosphere. And that's what I like the most about that movie. It's the atmosphere of it. That's unique. Not every movie can do that because not every movie is well shot with good sounds effect, you know. So I think that part of the atmosphere of the movie was well done. I really like that. The music choice, even if there's not that much music, the music choice helps out a lot. You're in the movie with them. You're not like chilling in your room. You're with them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, their search for a guilty criminal was kind of cool. Um, the whole investigation aspect of the movie was really interesting. Um, now they let you see like the cop watching pictures to understand what's going on with the movie, and that's cool because sometimes in an investigation they tell you instead of showing, and I feel like a lot of the investigation aspect of it is shown in this movie, which is cool. I like it. The
Mm-hmm.
bank scene was really nice. The
You're right. The bank scene.
Yeah, the meeting with the bosses was also great. The bar scene was really cool. I
Yeah.
like the bar scene.
Yeah, and also, you recognize the one actor, don't you, from Nope, right?
Yeah, I was like, is it the guy from Nope? Is it the
Yep.
guy from Nope?
Yeah. And
Okay.
he got his like big acting. He's been in many stuff before, but this and his performance in Get Out is what really like put him up there in
Yeah.
Hollywood and other films. But yeah.
So I'm not crazy. I also recognized John Bertel, the guy in the bar that almost killed Kate.
Oh yeah. John
Uh,
Burfall is like a
Punisher.
minor. He's like a minor or supporting character in so many films.
Yeah, he's also Punisher in Daredevil season 2. And
Yeah.
he's Punisher in his own show.
Mm-hmm.
um, the car scenes are usually well done. The atmosphere in the tunnel. I think the whole tunnel scene, outside of the stupid scene where she scream at everyone, she will tell everybody. Outside of that, I liked that you really felt like you were on that trip with them with your night goggles and you were with your gun and walking in this tunnel. They're really tight. You have hard time to breathe, and I think it's the way they shot everything. That was great. That was one of my favorite part of the movie, outside of the really stupid dialogue and stuff, character moments.
Mm-hmm.
um, the other car scene where basically the killer kills someone and then kidnap the corrupt cop, and then he kills the corrupt cop after like capturing someone else, and then he goes to the mansion and he kills everyone. That was really smart because he was able to showcase a tactical aspect to battle and firefights. He just entered to that mansion and he killed many people
Yeah.
before they could realize it was a threat. And
True.
I
Yeah.
liked that aspect of it. I was like, they nailed it, because sometimes in movies, because they want action, because they want exchange, because they want gunplays, they will force people into missing their target, into shooting around and missing stuff. I was like, that's the best way to handle gunfight. And it's rare I say that. It's really rare. Usually gunfight brings a lot of issues. But here, it was well done by good writers and good direction as well. I'm full on board with that. Then another great thing I liked a lot, the troubling and really dark dinner scene where the killer reveals his backstory to the cartel boss, and then he shoots the cartel boss wife, kids, and then the cartel boss. That was really dark. But that was very interesting to see. Look, the Cardinal Boss is a villain, but the killer is another villain. These are two villains in that movie. And I liked it so much. And this is why, at the end, when I see Kate surviving their exchange, I'm like, what? What's going on with that? Kate letting him leave this way. The dinner scene was really good, but I feel like the ending of the movie ruined everything. Um,
Hmm.
what do you think about the dinner scene? I'm curious.
The dinner scene. Which one was?
When he
Trying.
basically killed the wife of the cartel boss, and then he
Oh, you mean the yeah, and yeah, the match, whatnot. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what? Why? Was there any other way you wanted it to play out?
not really. I liked it a lot. That's why I
Yeah.
was asking to you.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, I think it like, yeah, there's no other way they could have played out, and yeah, I think it was executed really well. Like how how he did that, God, I was actually like shocked me. I
Yeah.
think it was awesome, but yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way of how that was executed. Luckily, it made me forget those couple plot holes at the other point. But yeah, Jesus Christ, so yeah. So what would you rate this film though overall? Would you say?
7.5, just like Dune,
Yeah,
because
I was a bit. That's exactly what I was gonna say. 7.5. Yeah, we
yeah,
agree.
it's like, look, before all these crap in the tunnel with the bad dialogue, the plot armor, I was all in for a 9.7 ish. But then the tunnel,
I
the plot
mean,
armor, the dialogue, the ending, and like they all stack up, bro. It's no more than 9. No, 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 it doesn't
uh,
deserve it anymore.
Jesus. Yeah,
What would be your
yeah.
grade?
I mean, yeah, same thing. 7.5, which to me is like what most people would give, like an 8 or 8.5. So yeah, I mean, yeah, those things were definitely bad, but I mean, they were like minor thing. I mean, well, not minor like things they did. They were like the ending, but they were like the small parts of like a big the overall picture though. So I mean, 9.7 for the rest of the film, and then those like I
That
mean if they
second
really
part.
yeah, if they really bother you, I can understand, but yeah, I mean before that 9.7, damn, you really thought of it that high.
I fully agree with you. Before all that crap like plot armor, tunnel, helmet.
Yeah, so hey, you know what you can maybe do then? You can like, you could just like rewatch this, but then just skip like that part, or that part of the film to like the mansion scene. Yeah, basically watch like 90% of the film and then skip like the 8% of it to the mansion scene, and then just skip to the very end with the kid playing soccer, and then the end. If you
Yeah.
ever want to rewatch it, that's probably the way to go.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I will do if I rewatch it for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going through the tunnel again. Okay, any closing thoughts on Sicario before we move on to Stargirl?
Oh, no, that's about it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, damn, the ending. Well, at least the rest of the film was like a 9.7 level though.
Yeah?
Yep. So that's great, and yeah, we'll see like how what you think of yeah, I'll be curious on like what you think of Arrival, because yeah, like there might be like choices they make in Arrival that might bother you,
Yeah.
but we'll see. Like just they just like go into Arrival with like open, like don't like with Arrival, I wouldn't expect. It's a film where I wouldn't expect anything like
I never
that
expect
you
anything. Everything I
okay.
watch, I'm like, I will watch
Yeah,
it
because it's
and I
the
will
type of
enjoy.
film where it's like if you go into it as like a typical sci-fi film, you're gonna be disappointed by Arrival. But if you don't, then it's good.
I never have any expectation with anything. In some cases, I do. She-Hulk, I knew from the get-go I would not like it. because the way they sold the show didn't sell the show for me.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, no.
Oh yeah.
But look at how it turns out. We are not the only
Yeah.
ones saying how bad this is. Some people are stupid in their comments, and some people are too far with their critiques and stuff. But there's still a point there. It's not good. It's not.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Agree.
Regardless of
Well,
how you
anyway,
twist it, it's not good.
it isn't, but whatever. Well, anyway, I mean, what I will say, yeah, when we get to Enemy, which is like the third next one coming up after Arrival and
Hey, Sandy.
I forgot Incendies. I don't know if there's like a specific way to like pronounce it in like French
Hey,
Canadian. I don't know,
Sandy.
but Incendie. Okay.
Hey, Sandy.
Yeah, I
There's
mean,
no in
yeah,
us. It's not in. It's eh. Eh.
yeah. Because I was saying when we get to enemies, though, there will be like a video I'm gonna like that I'll recommend you to like watch or two or just one of them that kind
Perfect.
of because it's a very that one is a very confusing film, so I think it's good if I like they just let me know on like Twitter when you watch it and then I'll like send you that because yeah,
Perfect.
it's a confusing film. You might need the like
Yeah,
an
I will
explain
start with
video.
Arrival. Here's the thing: to be sure it's fresh in my mind, I always watch before the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Except Sicario, I watched it Sunday because today I know I would be occupied because Monday my evening are kind of crazy at work. So even if I can watch
Oh
stuff,
yeah.
there's so many people having stupid stuff going on. Anyway, it's
Oh, anyway, let's move on to Stargirl. So,
yeah.
in my opinion, this was an episode that. Oh, okay, so it's sort of the same. It's sort of just getting the Baron again, in my opinion. But I really enjoyed it, just like the first episode. I think it did a fantastic job as well, in my opinion. But um, I not too much has happened yet, but they did touch on the two characters I was hoping they would touch on in the next episode, which they did. Glad he finally got his fucking tea right, and then the guy with the paintbrush, which yeah, they're probably leaning towards a villain right now, basically guaranteed at this point. But
You know, that's funny because if we look at the trailer, I don't know if you have seen the trailer for season 3. Like
uh,
the 1 minute trailer or 2 minute trailer where
no, I have not. What
okay,
about
so
it?
there's a scene where Courtney is speaking with Cameron and Cameron seems all happy and they're like chilling and he basically tells Courtney his secret, he has ice power and stuff. And he looked really happy. So
uh,
I think what they are doing with him, he may have a split personality. But here again, that's just a guess.
or
I
you know what might happen is he might think. Here's a theory. He might like want to try to get Corey or whatever evil again, right?
yeah.
Or
Uh,
like join forces.
I don't
He
like that
becomes
idea,
evil,
but it's kind of cool you
but
bring
then
this up.
that's yeah, but
It,
then that's when she doesn't agree and
yeah,
becomes
it's it's
redeemed fully.
it's interesting you bring this up because it's actually a very interesting theory. Even if I don't really like if they do that, I think it's interesting to think about it. It's a really good theory there. Now, I know we are too early in this season. There's no way it's Cindy, and there's no way it's the Crocs because now at the end of the episode they're like, oh, if they learn what we did, they may turn on us, you know? So I'm like, it's obvious next week will be focused around the Crocs, basically Sportmaster and Tigress. It's obvious for me next week this is what we are getting. There's no way they killed the gambler
Yeah,
because,
no, obviously not. Anytime there's like stuff that's like hinted at with some subtlety and isn't just like directly said, like there's a reason for it. So it's
yeah.
obvious that that's the number one thing in filmmaking. So it's obvious that they didn't do it either.
Yeah, and I'm thinking the more I watch what's going on right now, the more I think it's something with mind control or something like that, something that influence people. I am like, something is going on in town, and maybe the guilty will be found after the season, but he won't be really guilty. He will just be a puppet or something. And the end goal is find who's the puppeteer, who
Yeah, I
controls.
mean, that would be weird though, to like for them to do it all the way in episode one and tease it in like every episode as some like big story thing. So I don't know about that. Otherwise, I would agree.
Yeah. Um, Man, I'm having a blast. It feels so good to watch Stargirl after watching She-Hulk. I'm like, this is good TV. Now I laugh. Now I have a good time. Please,
Yeah, it's
She-Hulk,
just
take
enjoyable.
example.
It's like you know, CW just made more grounded, you know, enjoyable shows like this and Superman and Lois, and I wouldn't hate them at all. But Jesus.
Man, I will miss the shade. I will say this. I will miss the shade. It was
Yeah,
my favorite part of season
I
2.
was really disappointed. I wish we got more of him, but I mean, there isn't like as much of a point to him in like the plot. I know, but I just
Yeah.
like seeing him. I
Yeah,
love seeing him.
and I think it's actually fine they take him out right now and they leave that door open for the future. And here's why. Sometimes CW, they did it with Black Lightning, they did it with Supergirl. They have that cool character everyone likes when he comes, and then they overuse that character so much because everyone likes that
Yes.
character. And then at the end, like the last season that character is around, you're like, I'm fed up. I want to move on to other character. So I'm actually glad they took out Shade. Even if I'm sad, I'm glad at the same time because I
Yeah,
know.
that is true. I agree, and also because it's like it's not like they can use him that like for many things
Yeah,
outside of those things they did. So if they tried to force that too much, then it would just get tired easily. So
yeah. I'm glad he's taking a break. Even if I will miss him, I'm glad they did. That's a really good choice. Now, this episode, I had no flaws here again. So this is the second week in a row I give 10 out of 10. And something this happened. Sometimes this happens. I just enjoyed the trip. So far it's great. This episode is not as good as the first one, I think. This episode is like a bit weaker, but it's still like somewhere in my top 10 favorite episode of the show so far. I don't know where exactly, but it's somewhere in the top 10. So,
hmm
man, there's so much happening. The gambler, what did you think about like the whole start of the episode with the gambler and like what's going on with him?
go with the gambler. I don't quite know yet. Fuck.
Well,
Yeah, what I don't know what.
I think
Honestly, don't know what they're gonna do with gambler. I really don't.
the gambler intro was kind of cool. You get to know better the gambler, and after that episode, I think if you're not on gambler side, well, which side you're in, because I think they made him even more likable. Like the first episode was really good at making him likable, but they did it even better this week. I think you could really feel sorry for him dying now. I think, but that's my take on it.
No, no, I agree. I don't know like what the story with his fucking daughter or whatnot that he was trying to find, right?
And that's
What was it is yeah, like I don't know what the end result is gonna be there.
That's interesting because we got more Sylvester, and I think this week they made him so much more interesting, especially with the Shade and Pat. Oh my!
Oh yeah, they definitely made it more interesting and him, you know, losing his fucking temper. Yeah.
This episode made some justice for Sylvester. Right now, I'm rooting for the guy. It's so sad to see him like he has nothing else, and now I understand more his lies in the first episode when you said all he has is Starman because he has no family. It's clearly a lie, but with this episode, you kind of understand more why he feel that way because he sees all the previous villain as the threat, and instead of trying to work with them to understand what's going on, he work against them because he wants to blame them, and
Yeah.
That's great. And you realize that character is flawed. He is just like you and I, but he has these
Mm-hmm.
traumas we don't have. And these traumas makes him weird sometimes, you know? And that's interesting. And this episode gave me more hints on I think he may be the puppet. And I think at some point he will get killed off. Once we warm up to him, he will get killed off. So we don't find out who's the puppeteer yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's probably the case. He is probably the puppet.
And that's interesting. We also had these great Pat Courtney scenes that felt just like season 1. I liked it a lot. Courtney
Mm-hmm.
training with Starman. Dude, that's amazing because remember in season 2, they were like, Courtney, you need to go at school. Stargirl is your night job and school is your day job. You cannot like have only one of the two because there's no balance anymore if you only got one of the two. And now, when Starman tells to Courtney to like leave school and train, and Courtney is like wondering, it's a bad idea. Like I need to go at school. This tells us like what she learned in season 2, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's character building. You
Yeah,
remember?
and now with the you see, if these were the She-Hulk writers, they would just forget that.
They will forget
It,
episode 1.
yeah,
Do
yeah,
you really?
she would just be like, okay, cool.
They like in the Shield, they forget like what happened in the previous episode. Do you expect them to remember what happened in the previous season? Forget it, man. Season 2 will be another train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell we will get a second season of She-Hulk, and we will cover it, and we will suffer again. But look, Stargirl have good writer. Like it's really hard. You need to really have hatred toward DC or female-led stuff to say it's not well handled. Now I understand it's not the cup of tea of everyone. It's not the best show out there, but we cannot deny the quality of the writing because they know what they're doing, you know?
Oh yeah.
And that was funny. And we had another of these golden scene with the mothers. I was laughing. I was like, Barbara not knowing how to cook, man. That makes sense because that was a setup from the past. It's always Pat that cooks. So you see, there's a seed they plant in season 1, and that flourishes in season 3. And this is why it's funny because there's a build up toward the joke and the meme. And the GSA meeting, Courtney defending Cindy and Cindy trying her best to fit in, and Cindy just getting trashed.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Do I keep getting mixed up with Courtney and Sydney?
What do you mean?
No, I think I keep getting the names mixed up with like
Courtney
who
is the
I'm
main
talking about.
character. It's Stargirl, and
Okay, yeah.
Cindy.
I keep getting her mixed up with Sydney. Like when I was talking about, the
Yeah,
iceman. God damn it.
Cindy is basically the girl with the claws, the girl of the dragon,
Okay. Well,
chemist.
anyway, that didn't happen in the fucking trailer. Then I guess because I got her mixed up with Cindy, but that's who I was talking about. I think that was my theory that he would also be doing that with Cindy. Like look happy, reveal it, but try to get her on that side, or Courtney to turn evil as well. Who knows? But yeah. I keep getting the names mixed up for some reason. I keep thinking,
Cameron
uh,
is the boy with ice powers.
yeah, I am just terrible with names with
That's
most
fine.
people. So, uh, yeah, I'll try to remember now next time that Courtney is the lead, not the fucking Sydney. God.
I like the
Uh,
fact that Sylvester is like some kind of tick bomb, like ticking bomb. Like he can blow up at any time because he's
oh yeah.
unstable. That's like, oh wow, man, Sylvester's my boy.
Oh yeah. But
Um,
yeah, as you're talking about the scene with her defending Sydney, yeah, I enjoyed
yeah,
that.
yeah, and
Uh,
that's in character for Courtney. That's in character because she always sees the best in everyone since season one. If she wasn't this way, Henry would still be evil, you know. Um,
mm-hmm.
so we had an emotional scene. I think that was. It's actually hard for me to remember. I think that was the scene between Sylvester and Courtney. They basically speak about how Sylvester feel like he's not fitting in society, and Starman is all he has, and he realizes he's destroying everyone and everything around him because of that. I think that was the scene I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I think it was.
That scene was great.
Yeah, like that's all we can really think about. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
and that is accurate. That is true.
it's just handled by good writer, I think. We also
Yeah.
got a good scene between Pat and Sylvester after the shade, and Pat was like, "Yeah, you should stop like barking and jumping at everyone's throat. We are all on the same side, you know."
Mm-hmm.
A-
Yep. You
And
know, now if this was the She-Hulk writers, it would just be like, "Stop it with your toxic masculinity, you fucking bastard." Ah, so glad these writers aren't doing these shows. Okay. What other scene did you really enjoy about
I,
this episode?
I think my favorite scene was the training scene between Courtney and Starman, because that training scene really helps me to like much more Sylvester. I'm like Sylvester is
Yeah,
actually a
I'll be
cool
honest. The
guy.
training scenes, I did not. I liked the training scenes in the other seasons, in the other episodes, but they weren't my favorite or most memorable outside of like some. But the training scenes in this season so far are fucking awesome.
Yeah, and this is
Yeah.
interesting because they clearly show she is better than him, but there's a big but. It's handled by good writer, and they don't want to disrespect Sylvester.
Like Hulk.
Yeah. That's the big difference. We see she is better than him, but there's a good explanation, and it makes sense because Sylvester is very negative, and he is that magnet of bad luck, and he creates conflict around him. So it's normal that he's not like the bright light at the end of the tunnel, and Courtney is the one that try her best to get everyone around and working together, you know? So that makes sense. She's better than him. And they explained it well in that training scene. So I'm like, when I see that, I'm like, I watch a Shield on the other side and I'm like, girls, take example on the people making stargirl, please.
Mm-hmm.
They they didn't trash anybody. They just explained well why she is better, and the explanation makes sense. And it's done with care. It's not done to say he's bad. You know, maybe at the end of the season he will get a new power up and he will become better. But I don't know. And even there, I don't really care about who's the best. All I care about is good material and good entertainment. And so far, I feel like I am getting it with Stargirl. the
Mm-hmm.
the light-hearted tone is great. I also like a lot Mike and his friend. I forgot his name. Basically, the genie scene where they basically make a wish. They want to know who killed the gambler, but that fails. That backfires. You remember that? That was like in the bathroom. They had the pen and they were like, "We
Oh
want to
yes.
know who's the." I like
Yeah,
that
that
scene
is
so
so
much.
accurate though. To that, if that was real life, it depends. He has many names.
I
God,
liked
that
it
shit kind of
a lot.
reminds me of this one thing I watched. Fucking that. It was like some fucking Pinocchio character, the pen. Uh,
You see, this is clever, funny, and now I will speak about that. The biggest reason why I preferred season 2 over 1 is the tone. I like darker tone. But I will tell you this. Even if season 3 is very light-hearted so far, I enjoy so much what's going on. It's just amazing how they can do both something dark and something light-hearted, and it fits well. It works well. I just enjoy it a lot, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
the teaser that Cindy may gain super strength with her drinks, like the chemical she basically mixed up in her lab. That's actually interesting because maybe this chemical take control of her body or something. And
Yeah,
maybe she tried to kill the gambler but someone else did.
yeah. I mean, that would make sense. Like, she's still like she isn't like fully. I mean, whether like the mind control or not, she's not in control of her body. Really, still like with all the or still has those issues. With being past and being a villain, all that stuff. So it helps her. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is Yolanda. Now, it's been a while. We haven't heard about Brainwave in her body, you know? You remember that thing from season 2? Brainwave appearing in Yolanda and saying, I'm still in your head. Do you remember
Mm-hmm.
that in the church?
Uh. Oh yes, I fucking
Does
seen
this ring a
this.
bell for you?
Uh. Why don't you explain? I'm a little lost,
So, in
actually.
season 2, we had that subplot where Yolanda is basically asked to kill someone because the old Jesse killed someone. And then Yolanda has that struggle. She's like, it's not because I killed someone that I want to kill someone else. And she goes at the church, she leaves the team temporarily, and then at some point, she goes at the church because she's not feeling well. And she sees Brainwave. Do you remember Brainwave?
Yes.
She sees Brainwave, and Brainwave is basically telling her, look, I am still alive inside of you. Do you think, like, clawing my throat was enough to kill me? That was a seed they planted in season 2. And that was when she had, like, some kind of headache and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think in season 3, they will make that seed flourish. And here's how I think they may do it is because she ate Cindy, that hatred may transform her into a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that will open the gate for Brainwave to basically take over her body. Or maybe Brainwave already took over her body and she doesn't know it. So
That is true.
maybe
Yeah.
she's the one that killed the gambler.
Yeah. Maybe.
So we throw a lot of theories there. What's your theory on the Crocs when they said when they learn we did something wrong, they won't like
I
us? You
mean,
know?
I honestly think it will just be something stupid and humorous by the reveal. I think
Really?
it will actually just be them making a mistake with some minor, and they're like, "Oh shit, we're gonna find out." Fuck.
Really?
I think it's actually just gonna be something tame, and it's gonna be like a throw off.
I like that idea. Here's
But
mine.
yeah, okay.
They hired the people that worked for the gambler in the first episode, so Artemis can do the tryout and beat them down.
Mm-hmm.
So they want Artemis to be in the JSA, so they paid criminal to do dirty stuff. And they don't want that to be learned because Artemis won't be able to join the JSA if the JSA learn that, you know?
Mm-hmm. True.
But I think your theory is also very possible. I
I
think
mean,
you
I
like
think
it a
yours
lot.
is more. I think yours is more possible. It's just when it comes to those characters, I think they're gonna be more just like in the background in this season again. I don't know. I don't see them playing like that. But honestly, I think yeah, more I think about yours, that's probably a good possibility. But I just couldn't I couldn't think of any possibility with me, so I don't know.
I just cannot wait for next week, man. Well, this week
Yeah.
actually,
I mean, again,
Wednesday.
this is another like 9 or 9.5 episode for me.
Yeah, 9.5. That's great, man. I like. I'm happy. I'm glad. I should say you enjoy it. It's fun. So we both are having a lot of fun. So this brings interesting conversation. I do like it a lot. So any closing thoughts on Stargirl?
No, that's about it.
So without going into too many detail, how do you feel so far about Jessica Jones' third season? Because we will have a
Uh,
full part of stream about it. What do you think about it so far?
oh, well, I definitely like it more than season two. It's definitely a big step up. It's definitely doing what I at least want.
Yeah,
Uh, with what I've seen so far, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10, but I haven't finished it yet.
yeah. That's cool, man. I cannot wait to speak about that in further
Oh
detail with
yeah,
you. That'll be a very interesting discussion here.
yeah, and then we'll talk about Arrival, I guess. But yeah, interest in what your thoughts will be on that. So far, yeah, you gave 9.6. You gave Dune like a 7 or something, or I believe, and then you gave this a 7.5, but without like the last part, it's a 9.7.
Yeah,
So I mean, if we ignore the last part of Sicario, then damn, so far you gave two of his films basically like not over 9.5.
yeah,
So that's pretty insane. So we'll see what you think of Arrival, but I did pick like the films near the end though because I thought you might like them the least. So
yeah. But I'm very open. Like as long as characters are interesting and they don't break the plot for me, I'm fine with them.
yeah, definitely. So but yeah, we'll see then. But with Stargirl episode 3, yep, just I hope we I hope it focuses a lot more on Artemis or whatever his name is again. Is that his name?
Artemis is the daughter of the Crocs. It's basically the tough football girl.
Yeah, yeah. I mean like the guy with the ice powers, what's his name again?
Cameron,
Yeah, Cameron.
the guy with the ice power, man. I cannot wait to see what's going on with him. I really hope they will not turn him evil. I don't want him to turn evil. I just don't. I
Yeah, you know it's probably gonna happen though.
yeah. Like I
But
really wish he has split personality because that could redeem the character in some aspect. But yeah,
mhm.
he may turn evil. But
Yeah.
maybe Courtney will save him and turn him good like Henry.
Maybe, but yeah, either way though, I hope we get a lot more of him in episode 3.
Yeah, I think episode 3 will start off the same way Gambler, but instead of Gambler, we will get like Tigress and Sportmaster chilling and explaining what they think did wrong, went wrong.
Mhm.
But I think after that, they may work more on maybe Rick, the guy with the hourglass, the guy that doesn't want Cindy in the team, because he barely had material so far. Maybe Solomon Grundy tease. That could be interesting. Maybe
Yeah,
he's
that
back
could
and we
be.
don't know.
That is, I never thought about that. Yeah.
Because they keep speaking about bringing him back, but what if he's already brought back and we just don't know?
Mhm. True. Yeah, I mean, God. I mean, I can't wait later in the season though when we do get Mr. Bones, but
That season is a blast, man. I think Mr. Bond will show up like mid season.
later,
Yeah.
yeah, mid to late. I can't wait for him to come because he looked so cool at the end of season 2.
Yeah. And all these cameras, man. All these cameras in Gambler apartment, in everyone's apartment. I'm sure it's Mr. Bond. It gotta be Mr. Bones. It gotta be him. It's obvious it's
Mm-hmm.
him. Now, any closing thoughts on everything?
That's about it. What about you?
Not really. I really enjoyed my time. Thank you again for coming. I'm always having a blast with you. You're the
Yeah. Oh,
best
yeah. Oh,
co-host we
I
can
did.
have.
Yeah. Thanks, but I did actually have one. And did you see any of that news on that fucking Little Mermaid film?
No, what's going on with the mermaid?
Oh, they released the trailer and it is getting trashed on. It has like a
Really?
100,000 likes to like 600,000 dislikes.
Wow!
It's only a minute long teaser.
Wow!
And again, uh and again, listen, I'm not saying I out of all the choices that they've done with it, this is the one character that I am not fully on board with because every other I'm like, I'm cool with it, and it's a different take. It's not, it's a retelling, so I'm cool with it. It's not the same character, but this is the one where I'm like iffy with just because the character is so iconic, and redheads do get boy, and they're race swapping so many, but yeah, it's because they race swap the character. So it is.
Wow!
So people are trashing on it from that alone.
You know,
And I'll be honest, the film is probably all the live action Disney remakes are fucking terrible. So this is probably going to be terrible as well. But that isn't no. But it is not because the film is terrible because of that alone. What's your thoughts on that?
to be honest, I don't give a crap about Little Mermaid, but I do understand that point, and I'm kind of bothered because everyone needs to be swapped. What about Reddit representation? You like representation so much. Why don't you let Reddit live? They're already rare. Let them be, please.
Yeah, no, they literally keep race swapping every fucking redhead character.
Oh,
It's
poor
insane.
Reddit, bruh. Anyway, I
Yeah,
don't give a
but
crap about that, to be
no, it's just
honest.
that was the biggest movie news this week. That's how sad.
Really?
It was yeah, because there was like nothing at D20. There was this like
Wow.
cool look. There was this cool looking like D23 like Marvel film they showed. That's like an old. It was like it's the first somewhat promising thing in like ages that I saw it like from Marvel.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
let me look up like what it was exactly because I kind of forgot, but it
we
was
we will go on a small tangent here. I'm thinking about that. Are you into anime or not really?
what did you say? You meant anime or
Yeah,
animation or?
anime like Bleach, Naruto, One Piece,
Yeah, oh yeah,
Black
I'm into
Clover.
anime. Okay, so I'm into anime a lot. I'm not as much into like some of the big IP shows though. Like
Yeah,
besides the odd one like Attack on Titan and stuff. But I'm not into stuff like Dragon Ball Z or Naruto as much because I just or Pokemon because I never really grew up with them. But also because I just with how many episodes they are, it'll take me a while. But also I'm not a huge fan of like how there's just so many repeating storylines in those. So
yeah,
for me, so because of that, I personally like watching the anime movies or miniseries more than the shows the majority of the time. I really like stuff like Studio Ghibli and Akira,
yeah.
stuff like that. I mean, what is your opinion on it?
Well, I'm not really up to date. I like older stuff. I like Naruto a lot, and I think Bleach is a masterpiece. I'm a huge fan of Bleach. I don't know if you know Bleach.
Oh no, I do know Bleach.
Okay,
Oh, okay, so this is the one. It's called Werewolf by Night.
oh, I think I've seen that in my
Yeah,
feed somewhere.
it actually looks somewhat. I don't know how they're gonna execute it, but just premise of it and everything. That's somewhat promising for once from a Marvel property.
Yeah. So I'm speaking about Bleach because Bleach anime is coming back with the final arc, which is kind of cool. So, since you know it, maybe you could try giving a shot to the earlier episode and skip like all the filler. Like there's easy ways to find like all the filler list, because I do think Bleach is really good if you skip the filler. There's a lot of filler. That's the issue with Bleach.
Ah, okay.
But I think if you take out the filler with a list, I will even search a list for you if you may if you want to give a shot to Bleach. I will give you a list. So basically, Bleach before the final arc is animated, they basically did 366 episodes. But here's the thing: more than half of it is filler. There's like 160-ish episode of true content, which is kind of sad. But the 160 is amazing. So would this be something that interests you, having a list and maybe giving a shot to the show?
Uh, to a shot to the show of like what, like a list of like what episodes to watch, or
Yeah, yeah. Like basically, if you try like the first few episodes, I would give you a list of all the fillers so you can skip them if you're into it. Like you could watch all the non-filler stuff.
yeah. Okay, I mean, I might give it. I have seen. Well, you see, I have seen Bleach. I haven't finished it, but I have. But yeah, I mean, I liked it at first and thought it was a bit disappointing. But yeah, I
Because
mean, with other shows and that, but with that, sure, I could rewatch it, or other shows in general. We could get into that, sure. But
yeah,
again, it's more stuff like films or miniseries, or even or even seasons that are, animes that are just like one season long, like Kill la
yeah,
Kill.
yeah.
I'm more into that stuff, but
Blue
I mean the show's
Exorcist is
looking,
another one you should give a shot to. Do you know Blue
yeah.
Exorcist?
Uh no.
This is a shorter one. It's really good. I'm into mangas much more than animes, so I read the
I mean
manga.
I'm into both. It's just, yeah. Again, it's just like with the shows, with the continued seasons like Bleach, it's gonna take me a while to watch them, and there's a
Yeah,
lot of stuff I watch, so I don't know if I would have the time to get to them, but
yeah, yeah. I see. I understand. There's a lot. I know. That's why I was asking, because I know in October the final season comes in, and the final season looks amazing. I say that because the last arc in the manga was kind of great, but the biggest flaw of it
yeah.
was all they rushed the ending because Tite
Yeah, didn't
Kubo.
the creator say they wanted to end it, so
No, it was actually sick. He was really sick, and he wanted to give an ending. And the show also lost in popularity with uh, the the uh, the arc just before this one. So basically, the last arc the anime adapted was poorly received because they tried something else, and because of that, popularity dropped for the last arc. And the editor said, "Look, Tite Kobo, I know you're sick, but buddy, you have like a month to end your story." So it was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, okay, I will do the work." Okay. So this is what happened, and this is funny because he will be involved into the anime. And interview says this time around he will flesh out as much as he can, so he will fix what went wrong with the manga. So I'm
Honestly, if I were him, I would just like redo that whole season as well.
because here's the thing: the manga before it got rushed, it was really good. The last arc is my favorite until it got rushed. With the arc just before that one, like the last one, the anime adapted was amazing. I don't understand why. Well, I do understand why people didn't like it, but not for the same reason. Like, understand why people didn't like it. It's not the typical shonen where there's a power cliff and everyone becomes OP. They actually nerfed the cast and they nerfed the enemies because they wanted to tell another story that is more about psychology than just being really strong, you know. And this is why I liked it so much, and this is why I praise so much Bleach. This is because of that arc. But people want to
Mm-hmm.
see flashy action, big bad that can destroy planets and solar system. That wasn't the case with that last arc the anime did, and this is why it dropped in popularity because they did try something new. And this is why I respect so much Tite Kubo, because he went where other mangaka and other anime and manga don't go. They just don't, because they're like people like Power Cliff, people like OP buff and transformation and fusion and stuff, because everything needs to be OP, you know. So I think it's really worth watching outside of the filler. The filler are atrocious; they should not exist. But the main
Mm-hmm.
canon storyline is worth watching, and yeah, um, the music is great. Cannot wait
I'll
for.
definitely, I'll definitely rewatch it and finish it when
I
I
will
have the
give you a
chance.
list
If
without
I
all the
do,
filler. I say
uh,
160, but I don't know the exact number. But I know there's a lot of filler. There are many arcs where it's filler. Like just before the last arc of the anime, they did a full arc of like 25 episodes of filler. Like after Soul Society, they did a vampire bond filler that lasted for like 50 episodes. They did another filler that lasted like 30, another that lasted 30. So
mm-hmm.
it's like really half of the series is filler, and even
I see.
it's yeah, that's sad because some people are like, oh, filler, but yeah, I will give you a list and you may give it a second shot if you want to. I don't expect you to
Okay.
finish in a month, you know. I just to let you know, like, here's the list. Watch what you can
Yeah.
when you can.
If I ever like watch it, I mean, if I ever watch it and finish it like Bleach, not just season all the seasons and stuff, then yeah, I'll let you know, and then we can review it on an episode.
Yeah,
But yeah, otherwise I don't know, but we'll see. It's just, I mean, if there's any animes like that I've seen that you wanted to review, then that would be easier. But
I was speaking
I
about
mean,
Bleach because it's coming back. That's why,
yeah, it's
and
like
because I think
like
it's
a
worth
huge
seeing.
fan of I was a huge fan of Attack on Titan. I watched all of it. I don't know if you watched that, but
No, I did not, but I think I will give it a shot because you did give it a shot, so I will actually
I
watch it.
I love it a lot. But a lot of there's a lot of people do, but there's also fan base that really dislikes it for so. I really don't understand it. It's like it's like okay, it's like they wanted the show to have like no story and just have a bunch of like Titan fight scenes and stuff. It's like it's weird, like all the people's fucking complaints
These,
like and the plot reveal. I just do not understand why people hate it. But but me personally, I love it and I think it's super impactful and it's great in many areas. But I mean, it also has some filler definitely and repeating storylines. My pet peeves with anime shows like that, but I love it enough where I could ignore that though. It took them fucking like 3 seasons to go though to get this one to finally get this reveal done that they teased in the fucking second episode of the show,
you
which was
see,
kind of annoying, but
this
whatever.
is these people complaining about the lack of fight and action that will complain about the Fullbring arc of Bleach, the one I'm talking about, where it's more
Oh yeah,
psychology and stuff. It's like, yo, it's too advanced for you. Like, go back to One Piece and stuff, you know? One Piece, what?
yeah.
That
One
thing is
Piece and
awful.
God, I don't dislike One Piece or anything, but fuck, I don't understand the popularity of it, and I especially don't with fucking One Punch Man.
Anyway, I think we had a great stream. Is it? Do you want to add anything else? Any like
Nope,
tangents?
that's about it. But yeah,
Man, great
we'll
stream.
talk later. We'll be reviewing the same 2 episodes at release, and then I
Yeah,
guess Arrival. We're
yeah,
almost done with with the Quebec Canadian's filmography. Or
Yeah,
we got those 3 films left, and then we're gonna watch the 2 Blade Runner films. So
yeah.
yeah,
Are you
and
available
then
next Sunday? Are
oh
you?
yeah, right. And then
Okay.
next Sunday we'll also be doing Jessica Jones probably. So yeah,
Perfect. That sounds great, man.
nice.
Thank you again for your time. It's amazing. Our podcast is one of my favorite thing in the week. I enjoy it a lot. Thank you a lot. You made that great, you know? Like, why don't
Yeah,
you
well, I
start
mean,
saying?
I've definitely been struggling recently though with like saying points and stuff. I haven't been the best with like reviewing these lately on the pod because I've just because with like Stargirl, I'm not like as deep into the theories, so I honestly don't know like what to say as much when you ask me those questions. And then with She-Hulk, it's just so terrible and forgettable. But I'm gonna try to improve next week. We'll see.
She-Hulk equal brain damage. With that being said, I hope you guys
Yep.
enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. All the
Yep.
good stuff.
Yep. Talk to you next week.
Yeah,